Okay. So there's little authentic B-roll moments.
Yes.
I love that.
Nice one for the day.
So we can get the intro out of the way. Welcome to another episode of Tokes On. You've got Ree here, you've got Jenny, and we've got a special guest, well, two special guests. We've got Sean of Mr. Greens, and we also have the handsome Archie. How are you,
I'm
Bubba?
loving this special Tokes on location moment.
I know. This is really nice.
Welcome.
We've been waiting for an opportunity to get into the field, and I know you and I had talked about this.
Especially here, this is one of my favorite disco patios out there. I mean, it's just such a great spot to hang out. I've been to so many different events here, and
You always have the little fire
Yep.
going behind us, which is nice.
In the fall, we'll have fire. Definitely a nice opportunity to be in a great location.
Yep.
And to enjoy the sunsets, believe it or not, phenomenal. The colors that come, the whole panorama of the sky. So,
it's the nice part of being so close to the airport is those requirements to keep so much open air
Air
space so you
space.
can actually get the nice views of the sunset.
Yep. So, man, that is something big, girl.
Yeah. Now I just gotta dig out the actual piece that holds me, because it's at the bottom.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, how many episodes have you guys recorded?
So I think this makes 5.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I think this is episode 5. So we've been doing it for just a little bit.
We started from 420.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last episode was author Catherine Miller. Yeah. So you get to follow an author, which is fun.
Yeah, that's what's up. It's going to be hard to act to follow.
She's a trip though. I imagine your story is going to, what's the word I'm looking for, Jenny?
Resonate.
Yes, or at least mimic a little bit of. It's close. We're all legacy. We've all kind of lived through that whole experience where we had to be knocking on weird doors, or it was our weird door that was being knocked on.
That's true. Oh, the knock spot days.
Oh my God.
I ran one of those for a hot minute.
So I never did. I always sold out of my car.
Yeah.
You would just find me on a random college campus, or you already had my number, and I would just show up in a blacked out Ford Focus. What you need?
I found myself in the perfect neighborhood at one point in my late teens, early 20s, and I was like, I don't think I want a bunch of people in and out to buy the weed, but I think we can make this a knock spot.
Facts, though. Facts.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time. I know it's small, little sliver into a lot of stories here. And one thing I want to say is that start off with saying this. When God has a plan for you, no man will deviate or have you deviate from that plan. I say that to say this. When I grew up in a very orthodox religious family.
I never would have guessed that.
Okay. My mom's, God bless her, she going to church 3 days a week. That was a job. Okay. So when I decided to deviate from the path, it wasn't even for cannabis. Okay, but for some reason, I didn't start smoking cannabis until I was about 21.
Wow.
Okay.
Big learner.
I was around it. I was always around
It wasn't legal yet, but you waited till legal age.
it.
You knew where the future was going.
Nah, believe me, it was around it. I was around it all the time. But I also grew up in the back end, in the 80s. So I seen a lot of my friends go from smoking weed to that. So it kind of
And I pushed that narrative on
it was
so
a
much
gateway.
back then that it was a gateway drug.
drug.
If you smoked weed, you were into all these other
There you
drugs.
go. That was probably one of the my father in the 70s and early 80s. I remember him hustling with marijuana. I'm talking about. So our house would smell like cannabis.
Glorious, exactly.
In the middle of the 80s, the mid 80s, then it changed. You know what I'm saying? And then my lifestyle. Growing up, it was a little different. It was urban. I want to say urban. However, one good thing about it was I learned that I went to school, and then I chose to go to the street. That's what I tell. When I say my story is it's an honest story, that I can honestly say I chose to go to the streets to go see how that.
Okay.
I was at probably 20 years old.
Hold on. So you did the school thing, and then you chose.
I got kicked out of college for actually selling marijuana, but I wasn't using it.
Okay.
So don't get high and run supply. Very serious.
Pretty much.
I know a couple
Pretty
people
much.
that did that.
I started.
I'd made a lot more money if I wasn't smoking everybody back then.
Yeah. The thing about it, I was drinking so much. I was drinking. And one of my friends was like, you know what? You probably be a better partner than because I was like an angry drinker at 2021, So, with that said, I was smoking weed. It's funny because there was a weed knock spot on 118th and Pleasant right next to my grandmother's laundry, right next door. So I would see the Dominicans going in and out, barbecue, offering me food all the time, this and that. So that's how I actually, got introduced to like the cultural background of cannabis through my Jamaican friends in Harlem. And I started bagging their weed in the spot, helping them out. I was like, but they would give me weed. And I was
That's always how it starts. You just help somebody.
It may or may not.
Whether it's bagging or it's trimming, it all starts with just helping somebody. And the next thing you know.
Yeah, and then I was fully in bringing weight upstate, bringing a lot of weight, bringing about 100 pounds every other week.
Holy shit.
To upstate New York. The other stuff that, I was.
I got lawyers in my family for a reason.
At the end of the day, I chose marijuana about now 92, 93 as my main source of hustling because I didn't like the crack or heroin.
You can make that money, but you didn't feel like shit about it because you know that cannabis benefits people. And it was nothing but a bunch of propaganda fed to us through the bullshit war on drugs, which for the record, drugs had won the war on drugs.
They did.
They really did.
When I really moved into Harlem and I seen how crack and heroin was really affecting the neighborhood, I understood that as a spiritual person and going to church, as a younger person, I was like, I can't be poisoning my whole life. So I started smoking weed, believe it or not, like around 92, 93, and once I hit my foot, I laughed the first time so hard. I just had the craziest time. Me and my friends, we couldn't stop laughing. And I fell in love with it. I was like, oh,
I relate to what you're talking about so much because I grew up in the hood.
Okay.
I grew up very poor, and so I was watching a lot of these same things you're talking about. And especially back then, we were so heavy on criminalizing and persecuting and shaming the people who were struggling with these addictions, which a lot of them were manufactured by the government themselves. There's lots of documentaries out there to check that out.
Yep.
And cannabis really was getting caught in the crossfire.
Put it this way.
They could have done so much to help so many of these people that were suffering trauma and in these situations.
Yes.
And turning to other outlets.
Yes. I noticed once I started with the cannabis community, started getting really with my Rasta friends and learning how to smoke and just not smoking. I just understood that the culture is about love.
Consuming with intention is such a big thing too. It's so much more. We all start with just let's get high, let's get blicks, let's get stoned, and then there comes a point where you develop the passion, and then you really want to curate your experience. Like let's get laughing before we hang out and watch this movie. Let's get relaxed before we go into bed.
And that's when people start to actually get curious about what is making the plant do these different things.
And then we get into the wonderful science and the benefits of COAs and being able to really see those contributing cannabinoids and those terpenes and understanding the effects that they have on us.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, in the 80s, the ADD and all that stuff wasn't around. But I know you smoke weed, the anxiety was gone.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that though, because there's a lot of things that exist now that didn't exist when we were all kids.
Yeah.
And that's because we're actually like investigating and looking at things now. And people are talking about the issues they're facing. We as a society are getting a lot more comfortable talking about what we're facing, and that's within cannabis as well, because we can use effects-based intentional consumption to be able to cater to our day and change the context of our day.
That's right.
Like, that's the magic of it.
And I just think that the healthcare industry is afraid of cannabis because they know once you really consume with a purpose, then a lot of those Prozac or the ones that calm you down, those drugs are eliminated.
For the first time last year, like I always knew that there was medicinal benefit to cannabis, but I didn't truly know it until I experienced it last year because I went through a major surgery that actually had me on bed rest for several weeks, and I did not want any type of opiates or anything following the surgery. So I went hard, thanks to a lot of advice on my girl here, on edibles, and I was consuming, crazy numbers, about 300 milligrams of edibles a day. And when I was doing my follow-up appointments, my surgeon was actually, you can see a huge swell from it. My surgeon was completely shocked how minimal my swelling was, especially given that I should have had a leg. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you taking? And I'm like, honestly, I'm taking nothing that was prescribed. It's a fuck ton of THC. My blood is green at this point.
Yeah.
Whole plant, like,
and I use it for
anti-inflammation
and for pain management, and I mean that did wonders.
No, I know. I have a cousin that he has. Actually, I got one on the side of me. It's non-cancerous. But he had one right here. He's going to the UCLA Medical Center. That's his wife was actually diagnosed with cancer, and one of the doctors saw that he had something on his head, and he's like, "Yo, bro, check this out." I said, "God." They did a special medical research on him because of all the cannabis he consumes, and that we should put something to remission. I keep it real, so it's like
I can't back this up by any means, but you know.
Oh no, this is
I have melanoma. I had full-on cancer. I had skin cancer, and when we removed it, I also had a bunch of lymph nodes removed to check for spread. And this particular spot had been there quite a while. And they were actually very surprised when they did the pathology that they were able to step back my cancer staging because I had not had any type of systemic spread yet. Now, obviously, I have no medical backup. We didn't research this, but all I know is I have gone very hard on the plant I love.
oh yeah.
And meanwhile, I had melanoma, which Rick says developed this stuff, in the same disease. And all I know is mine's safely localized, and thanks to that, I'm cancer-free today.
But also too, I think cannabis puts you into a certain mindset.
Oh, I handled it so much better than I would have.
So where I say that I consume cannabis and I meditate because when cannabis makes me feel clean.
Yep.
It helps you self-reflect.
Self-defeat.
It quiets that noise. You get in touch with the thoughts that you actually want.
And I pretty much, once I realized and I mastered smoking, I guess, told me a master smoker,
Master Blazer.
This is Master Blaze. We should all feel proud about this at the end of the day.
So we should all feel very proud about it, but we should also understand there's a huge weight and responsibility that comes with being
comes with it.
Because we set the stage for what's to come later.
That's why, it's so important that we pay attention to our community and, we're doing things right. We're talking, giving the correct information, that we're really doing the research and giving the people the type of, we're not just here for entertainment, but the type of knowledge and education they really need because...
And want, but don't know what they're asking for yet.
Yeah. I mean, I know you, just like me, spend a lot of time in dispensaries and you hear people come in all the time and they really struggle to define what it is that, they're looking to treat or feel. And it's so, and this is where budtenders are so crucial in being able to understand that, connect with people, and be able to actually curate the right products for them.
Yes. I come to find out I'm not a real bud tender. I'm going to be quite honest. However, I know how to get quality bud for affordable price.
Yeah, you know how to spot what's good.
I've been doing it since the late 80s. So I'm just getting started in this, getting to meet farmers, cultivators. You know, the good thing about it, they come to the store. I don't have to really.
Yo, isn't it amazing? Like,
Right.
back in the day,
Yeah.
you would go to the plug, be in a sketchy parking lot, wait for 45 minutes,
Now
and
the
just
plug
making up
shows
a
up in
name,
the back
doing
door.
shit, right? Now we're like, let me talk about your soil. What's in there? Let me see them labs. Let's
It's
talk
a more
them
comfortable discussion. Like, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You're
I
not.
mean, I still do every
I
once in a
know.
while.
I still
don't
feel
know.
weird every time I get a receipt for weed. I work in this industry which provides you receipts for weed now, but
Yo.
it still baffles me every time.
Yeah.
Every time I find random weed in my car, I'm like, was I gonna go to jail for that?
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm trying to fight that with the PTSD. I'm really not PTSD with that. Well, I'm more PTSD to where it's like, damn, I have an opportunity to where they said I couldn't make this money with this vision, where now I have to fight that mentality. Like, okay, we're gonna figure out a way to make Mr. Green's community for cannabis community. So I want to make this like an iPhone, like a platform. Anybody that has a band, artist, poetry, anything with the arts, anything with, I don't know, entertainment, and you want to use this as a platform, I will go get my permit from the city and we'll make things happen. Let's make this our community.
Curated
Okay.
such a beautiful space for our community here. I mean, the store itself is obviously beautiful, but the amount of love and effort that was put into the outside to really make this such a welcoming place. Like, this isn't just a store, just come in, get your shit from the plug and go. This is come in and spend time with us and be with the people that you actually connect with.
Right now, I'm supposed to be in Costa Rica. I'm going to tell you how this works out, okay? About 6 years ago, I had an opportunity to go in and get some Airbnbs and be part of like a conglomerate where my friends have the Airbnb, I'll have the excursion, we'll have the taxis, we'll pick you up. We had a game plan. COVID hit, okay? And I was working for the state of New York, and one day I get a text message from a friend of mine that I haven't seen since '91. Okay, I went from kindergarten to 12th grade in the same school with him, but lost contact after graduation. He tells me to go meet him in Detroit for a beer. I go meet him, and this is about 6 months prior to Cuomo
The legalization.
announcing the legalization of cannabis. Okay, so at that time, what's crazy was, and that's what kind of helped me out. That head start, that see that he planted, right, helped me to go get my full record, my full criminal record. Yeah. So I got my full record. I got all the times that all the nickel possessions that I got when they talk about over policing in the neighborhoods in Harlem.
Dude, stopped for a fucking
Stop and frisk. I was going to Rikers Island. I was going to gladiator school on the weekends for a bag of weed. So imagine that.
Ain't that some New York City shit?
And this is now like I'm from the hood, but one good thing my father did, he actually moved 7 miles out in the late 70s, mid 80s. I grew up in the country, so that's where I went and got my education, so that country vibe education. Okay, so when I moved back to the city, it was culture shock. You know, I was catching up because the city don't stop for nobody. You better get in and figure this out. You know what I'm saying? While you living. So Dinkins, we had Mayor Dinkins, the first black man. Okay. So I was out there. I caught the tail end of his politics in New York. So the weed gate, there was a weed gate in every corner. There was the knock-knock spots everywhere. So we went from that to Batman and Robin, Pataki and Giuliani. And it was like they came in with a vengeance.
Yeah, they did.
So I got caught up with a lot of, my record show. So these guys up in Saratoga seen that record, offered me $1 million. Okay? This is straight up. This is how the story all goes. Offered me $1 million. So I'm like, all right, I have no reason not to believe my boy. Because he's straight legit. He don't even smoke weed. He works for the government. Okay? Government contract. So he don't even have social media, nothing. Okay? He got my number.
He in the know.
Okay? So I'm like, alright, I'll get back to you. Alright? So now I'm talking to Fonzo, my business partner, the other part of Mr. Green. And I was like, yo, because we were talking about, I'm thinking now I'm going to use that money. Right? So Fonzo's like, wait a minute, Sean, let me see what's going on. Because I called it guard. I was like, yo, some guard license they want to give me. So he was trying to Google it, it wasn't coming up. But
What are you talking about?
so when I say God has a plan for you, this is to the timeline. Because he's looking for guard. Meanwhile, the card, he finally found the card. Because he works for the Senate and stuff like that, so he knows how to do that research for what it
Really?
Yeah.
He's fancy.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's bougie like that, man. Yeah, when I first met him,
Sorry,
he was working for
Yeah, you keep me
the
around for my
Senate.
bougie
Yeah,
factor.
yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
do give me a bit of class.
he gave me some class. So with that say, he came to me like 2 weeks later and was like, Sean, listen, this deal, what they're giving you, is like the 80s with the rappers. Yeah, they gave them they dangled some money out, but right now they're making millions and millions of dollars off of their sweat and stuff. So he goes, how fast do you want to leave New York? And I tell him the truth, I want to leave like tomorrow.
You don't actually
Like,
live in New York unless you think about leaving New York every day.
Yeah.
That's the benchmark of
So,
being a true
no,
New Yorker.
I'm a true Lord. I was born in Manhattan.
That still don't mean we
I
don't think
grind.
about leaving all the time.
Like, I talked someone back from the ledge today about leaving New York.
Oh.
Like, you need to self-reflect first before you consider leaving. Otherwise, we're just repeating same patterns with a new background.
But you have to have a plan. I keep it real because at the end of the day, when Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
That's fact.
That's fact.
That's fact.
So with that
New
said,
York
you
will
gotta.
raw dog the fuck out of you.
If you got a solid plan, I guarantee you gonna make money. Your dollar's gonna go a lot longer somewhere else, like Wyoming. I don't care. If you put me anywhere, we gonna make it happen. So with that said, we signed up. Like Cuomo announced it, I signed up. Now I'm keeping it real. I never thought this shit was gonna play. That's real talk. I'm like,
either. I've been like, I mean, yeah, I'll take the gamble, but like, I ain't focused on it.
And yet, how long have you been open now, living in this world?
7 months. I ain't gonna lie, it took me about 3 months to actually like go sit down and be like, you know what, bro?
Recognize it was
You
real.
in the game now. Let's go.
Yeah, like
you better
buttercup, it's time to start.
Put your big boy pants on, and this is you here for a purpose. You definitely here for a purpose, and I'm starting to really realize that because I'm at that age. So I like to do. I like to serve.
Is that your love language, acts of service?
Acts of service.
Gotcha.
Okay. I like to make people feel good. I like to connect people. If I can be part of something like if you can better your life, I'm all about that. I don't need the accolades, but I know that if I've done enough craziness as a young man, that maybe I should do a lot more service.
Something that you see among the people who are in our industry and the ones whose heart or really belongs within the community is this desire to help raise everyone around.
Everybody. And that's what
And that's the heart of cannabis. It
Yeah,
really
raise your
is.
vibration and everyone around you. We're a community first and foremost.
Yes.
And we are forgetting that every day. So, like, please, remember, like, hug your fucking neighbors.
Well, what we gotta understand, okay, is that we are in an industry with money, okay? It's about money. However, there's enough of us right now. I would say over 50% of us is with that heart of service.
Yep.
Okay? don't let the big industry flush us out, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna lose the realness of what cannabis is truly about, okay? So like I said, they put the wrong person up in here. When they announced my license, I was like, okay, let's go, right? Now, I keep it real. I had to come to the realization, I don't want to sell weed, bro. I've been doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm really sensitive.
I gotta go.
doesn't want to sell weed.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like I said, I'm like, damn, yo. But because at the end of the day, I didn't really know in the beginning what my purpose was. Okay, I really didn't take the time.
And none of us knew what this was going to actually look like. When cannabis legalization rolled out, it happened so fast when a lot of us were not expecting it that, like, you know, there wasn't a lot of solid plans in place. Even the legislation wasn't good. Wasn't clean enough that we could get stores open.
And it's still fluid. And it's still fluid. You know, we're gonna like OCN. They don't got the shit together. I know you want to keep that in, but it's real talk. Listen, I come from the state.
There's enough articles that already.
No, that's proven fact. Yo, tell me who's in charge. I'm gonna ask that question.
I don't actually know.
There's not a president that the dude.
Right,
yeah, he resigned like 2 years ago, a year ago. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, listen, I'm just bear with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with I'm gonna keep it real. I'm dealing with the build out, that national build out. Everybody hears the horror stories. Yep. Yeah, it's the mob. I keep it real. I've dealt with the mob in New York since the 80s. Okay, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be a good earner. I'm gonna put that on record. Okay? When you come to my store, to Mr. Green's, I guarantee you I'm gonna put the hottest farmers. They making some good crop out here. They're gonna be in Mr. Green's. And we're gonna try to have Woodstock Festival. I'm trying to bring the community where they say there's nothing going on in Albany for people that are 40 or above. All right, let's take the time. Let's get together. You come to Mr. Green's, we'll talk about it. Let's talk about doing something as a community together. You know, I'm down to put a movie, a big screen TV back there. Like a drive-in. Like
they make a big blow-up screen?
Yeah, they do.
Let's
like
do
$300.
this. I'll bring my unit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get a food truck. I got some people that are culinary.
You have food truck.
There
You
you
know what I'm
go.
saying?
You bring the food truck.
Yeah.
I'll get the big
No,
screen.
I'm telling you, it's going down. It's going down.
TokesOnNY and Mr. Green movie nights. I'm here for this.
That's
Get
what
baked in the back lot like
you know,
weirdos.
I was blessed. I've been blessed with the parking lot, and I'm trying to utilize it and have it as a help other people as a platform.
I have never heard someone say they were blessed by a parking lot.
Nah, it's the truth. Think about it.
I know.
Now I got that
I don't
big
share it.
paradise and put up a parking lot.
I don't
I was
share it. I
hoping
don't
that
share
was
my
gonna be
parking
good.
lot with nobody. And I think that makes a little bit different.
I mean, low key, you shared a little bit with Trader Joe's. Not by your choice though.
Listen, it's
No.
all
Throwing
green
shade at
rough
Trader
either way.
Joe's.
It's all green
Oh
on
no,
either
put it this
side.
way, we friends, and I want to be a good neighbor with Trader Joe's. One thing I understand is that they gonna keep my lights on. They people, what it is that they sometimes they park over there and come over here, and it's taking up more time. They notice.
Have you offered to co-brand with them on
So what I told them is that line back there, right? I would put like EV, like batteries, so you could plug in. Because I think that's that community, you know, it's that community, right?
Yes,
so
it is.
you come plug your car in, come to
And they
Mr.
don't have
Green.
any of that.
Keep the greens there, buy the greens here, charge your green and back.
Let's figure out how we can cohabitate with each other, you know?
Yeah, like it could be a coupon that's like you guys each have the same coupon, and we'll cut this out.
Hooters,
We'll just cut to each other.
not gonna lie, they sponsor us. We got,
Why is that one not shot?
I mean, come on.
Wings Wednesday. Come on, yeah. Don't be taking all my ideas, but I'm helping y'all out. Let's go, baby.
No, I'm gonna cut a bunch of this, but I'm leaving.
I mean, Hooters needs to move into the box HOA anyway. Why not look for legal weed?
No,
I love it.
Have you considered running for like mayor of Albany? Because like with an idea like that.
Nah, Politics is definitely not in my system.
I'm just saying though, if Mr. Green's and Trader Joe's and the Hooters all band together, y'all got some power.
Oh yeah, no, we make it happen.
Just saying.
I'd be nervous to be the honey baked ham store or some shit.
Their stuff is so good.
No, it is.
Like, I've been to one once, and it was like when I was in Ohio for Everwild last year. They blew my mind. I'm like, this has been on Wolf Road for like 20 years.
In all fairness, I also blew your mind with Cracker Barrel.
Oh, for real? I ain't gonna lie.
She had never been to a Cracker Barrel before. We were out in some rogue ass.
Wait a minute,
Central
isn't it in
Road
Troy?
spot.
Aren't you from Troy?
I am from,
So,
well, yeah.
The
a little
first
bit.
Cracker, isn't there a Cracker Barrel right there?
Because we're in Clifton Park.
Nah, but I
No,
went.
I didn't fuck around in East
We went to
Greenbush.
one in rural, like, central New York.
Dude, every time I go to East Greenbush,
I took her
where
to
that
an official
Cracker
one.
Barrel is, I get pulled over. I don't fucks with East Greenbush. So any stores in East Greenbush, I am so sorry, but if you are actually past that North Greenbush line, I love you. I will text you. You're gonna have to pick me up at the border. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do I hear something crazy? I won't go up 787 through Coho. I go through actually River Street, Detroit, because of the police.
I love that we all have a superstitious area because for me, my area is that circle right there at Wade Road and Albany Shaker and right where the Colony Police Station is. Because I got arrested by the sheriffs there.
Yo, that's fair though.
Fun fact, never get arrested by the Albany County Sheriffs. They will take you to the airport and parade your ass through the airport in cuffs. Learned that the hard way. Yeah, no, so I'm superstitious about that
They
spot.
thought you was a transporter.
Woo!
They
They took out the stop signs and everything, put it in a circle, and I'm like, I'm still not doing it. I ain't stopping in the triangle of doom right there. I'm good.
Oh, man. Well, I tell you, at the end of the day, my story, they offered this to 5 other people. This location. 2 years ago, when we started, they said we had to find a location. So one of my bartenders, he's also a real estate agent, Joski, and he called up this spot, and they had taken it off. They said, nah, it's taken off the market. So we were like, we were actually looking up in Saratoga and in Schenectady. You know, personally, me, man, I don't want to.
I mean, I know how many state offices
edit this out,
it's a great
but
spot.
my vision for later is that I'm going to have an Airbnb upstate New York where you can come fishing, hiking, get some land. It's going to be a destination. Talk about cannabis as an experience.
Bikini cabin.
You're going to figure it out.
Invest in my land.
So, I'll tell you the truth.
Because I've been looking for people to sponsor a longhouse and like little cabins on
So look at how I put that ether in the air, and if you're really thinking about something, I'm telling you, like, I have a vision that I got people that will come.
I already bought the plans for Jones.
If you guys want to go to Thailand, Lavender Boys, out in Thailand, so it is experience. It's a hotel dispensary. That it's an experience. Okay, I'm trying to bring. You know, I see a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the game that's been doing this. I'm trying to get Ice Cube.
Like Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Brands coming out.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got my
Oh, yeah,
peoples
I
in
saw that.
California is growing for him. You know what I'm
Love
saying?
that.
So I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to bring that community. I'm over 50. You know what I'm saying? So anybody young, any young kids in the cannabis industry want to school me? Come on in. Let's talk. We'll figure something out, a platform. I'm about to hit this dab, so.
I mean, this is
Yo,
a beautiful dream for the future because
whatever that is.
the first time ever our community doesn't just have a chance to be legitimate and thrive in a business standpoint, but we can also thrive as a community without fear. We can be together, we can enjoy cannabis together, and we can actually make these like destinations for things to do. And I love that. It's a beautiful future for us. We are out of the shadows and on the patio now.
Yep. I tell you, it's.
And I'm making a mess. I'm going to clean it up. I want that fresh in.
At the end of the day, we not I know I'm not gonna get rich off of this overnight. So this is a lifestyle. This is a vibe. So hopefully.
There's worse ways to spend your life.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I love when people ask me, you know, how are you doing? I always give them the same answer. I'm fucking great. I sell weed.
Yo, imagine this. Because we really assuming I got it. Okay, but at the end of the day, this is like, yo, if I told OCM, if they're gonna come, like, my stop and frisk is what got me here, and you're gonna come, like, yo, like here, like, I always spoken, like, come on, yo,
Come get it.
like, what we doing, man? Like, come
Who
on,
knows
like,
where
what
that's
we
gonna
doing?
take me next?
Yeah, come on. It's like, what we doing?
Let's be serious. If there wasn't us rebelling over the last several decades, we would
Be
be here
here.
now legally.
That's real talk. I'm gonna play the rules of the game.
We're here to be a part of the future
Of the
rules and the
future.
shifts that are
Yes.
changing within the community.
And
Yes.
we're here to help make them, so that way
Yes.
we can have a reasonable industry that works
There-
for all of us,
there you go.
doesn't exclude anyone, and doesn't fucking come down super harsh. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. You put us here, you know a lot of us are criminals. That's real talk.
Learning to be business people.
And
Okay.
we learning to be legitimate business people. So
I keep losing my lighter. I'm a mess over
I
here.
can see that.
You have one
I
in
got
your hand.
one. So how you do this?
All right.
All right. So if I pass out, you got to cut it.
I'm not cutting it if you pass. So you're gonna light and take your pull, and once
you
you
wanna
start
clear,
seeing smoke
lift.
come up here, and you're like at a comfortable level, you lift this out. I would exhale through your nose and then pull. So like, all right. So
Pull
light
air,
pull.
burn, stop burning, lift this up, kill your lungs.
Yes. So do you want to know what you're hitting?
Hopefully.
So this is actually sour OG diesel, which is OG Kush with sour diesel blueberry. So like it's a combo from a company called I Ambition.
Oh,
It's a
yes,
micro
I've
in
been
New York
wanting
City.
to try this. I recently spoke with the owner. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Isn't she amazing?
I love her. I love her branding. I've been dying to try
Where are
it.
they out? Where are
They are out of Bronx. That's where their grow is. So they're a
And
micro
she's a
in Bronx.
bad.
So like they're gonna be doing a lot more coming soon.
But the thing about a micro, I thought it was that they come only sell it in their location.
No, there's two different micro licenses. So one comes with a retail dispensary and one does not. So yeah, and she's got a branding micro, so she can actually do all of the growing and put all of her stuff in dispensaries across the state. Huh?
Is that indoor?
It is.
I was gonna say, 'cause they can be. I don't know any grass in the Bronx, so.
So believe it or not,
There ain't the wheat fields like there used to be.
So I'm not
Okay.
gonna get this proper, but she's waterside. She's
Okay.
got an indoor grow and pushing some really cool
You
shit.
know how I feel about a woman growing some.
I know.
Me too.
Nailed it.
And now you're officially Mr. Green.
There you go. And I want to know where that name came from when you quit, when you're done dying, obviously. Resurrect.
You feel good?
She's nice, right?
Yeah. Actually, where did I get Mr. Greens from? Redman had a
Okay.
freestyle. I follow him on Instagram and YouTube. And actually kind of, we don't know each other, but we run in the same circle. We got a lot of pictures with him, with the iPhone, and prior to where it was just like back in the 90s. Okay, so with that said, he was like, you can call me Mr. Green. This was about a year ago. It was a freestyle. And I'm listening to it. I said, call me Mr. Green. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's it. It's
But I like that one.
no, I was just like, oh. He was like, you call me Mr. Green. And I was just like, that's just, I think, at the end of the day, like when you were around a certain frequency, and you resonated with a certain frequency, you're going to get information like you need. Okay?
The universe is gonna
Mr.
guide you.
Greens, he doesn't have that copyright, he has no name on it. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a good bar that I like, that I respect.
I mean, people find inspiration everywhere.
There you go. And so, and then I made it.
Shout out to
I made it
Redman for always
professional.
being inspiration.
Yeah, I made it
Yes.
professional with MISTER. I was like, yo, let me make it a little bit, you know, because at the end of the day, that's branding wise.
Yep.
It just looks. I can market it.
And it looks proper.
It does.
Yes.
It's not just MR, it's spelled out.
Yes, it's spelled out. You know, I'm old school. You know, and I like that. I like that sophistication to anything. So with that said, that's how Mr. Greens came out. My license is Frenchie Herb. That's a story in itself. A friend of mine, I was traveling a lot. My wife passed away in 2013. I was married for 17 years. She definitely was a big part of why I'm still here. So with that said, I was traveling a lot. Like I said, I was trying to leave New York, and she was like, you know what? This is my friend. She was like, why don't you I got a French bulldog that you might like, you know, that might kind of settle you down type thing, right? So I was like, nah, I got 2 cats. We good, you know what I'm saying? I said we good, right?
The universe decides otherwise.
So she, I ain't gonna lie, she know how to work out. Like she's got sense. That said, because she just recently come like 6 years. And she brought Archie around. And he's a rescue. It's like, man, red eyes. Motherfucker look like he just finished smoking a blunt. Yeah, I was like, oh, I got.
His personality is like just smoked a blunt.
Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take him. And she already had told somebody that the dog was theirs, this and that, and she had to kind of tell him it didn't work out.
Sorry, Archie.
It didn't work out with him.
It's like he found his best friend. I don't know what to tell you.
And he's definitely my soulmate. Everybody knows. I was like, it was definitely at the right time in my life to kind of switch it up.
Animals are so funny like that because the universe will really send you like a soul pet sometimes. Like it just knows what you need.
There you go. That's the truth. That's definitely the truth. Having a dog, that's when I started working for the state. I started having a structured lifestyle.
Yeah, dog will force you to get a little more responsible.
I never wanted kids, and my cats, cats do what they want. They literally ask
Cats
for
are much
attention.
lower maintenance. Dogs are a whole different ballgame. I got 3 of them.
They're children.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
children. It's so much.
Actually, sometimes they're worse than children because at least children you speak the same language and you can kind of get through to them.
Yeah.
My dog speaks fuck you, bitch.
But the thing about it, I keep it real, is that I think an animal lets you know, you know, you're not being responsible.
Yeah.
You get some eyes like, boy, you gonna sit down
It's
tonight or not?
it's like you took on a responsibility, even with kids. You know what I'm saying? You definitely gotta be, you know, a kid gonna tell you, like, you fucking up, ain't a life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they're not gonna
They're going to
you
tell
in the
their
moment.
therapist
Yeah,
at a very
but the
expensive
dog
rate
is
before
gonna
they
let you
tell
know,
you to.
like a dog or a cat gonna let you know, like right away, like that.
Yep.
You know, the vibes. If you understand vibes and understand frequency, that's definitely.
Yeah, cat's gonna take your eye out. Dog's gonna whine at you.
You just when I have my dog,
That's
when
so
you
correct.
come into my apartment and my animals coexist. Everybody lives. I have a cat right now that's 21 years old.
I just lost myself.
Okay, so I think I had a dream the other night that she was passed. I saw it passed. So I think the universe is getting me prepared.
Prepping you.
Yeah, letting you know what time it's
So,
going.
I definitely felt like the universe gave me some clues there in those last couple of weeks before I had this rescue cat. Orange cat, so batshit insane. She had, when I got her, her jaw was broken. We spent so much money. There was traumas involved in surgeries. Like, she only had 3 teeth left in her mouth.
What?
She definitely had brain damage. She had FIV.
Yeah.
She was just crazy, but she loved me because I rescued her. And I named her Bodega. Because the only way I could describe this cat, when I took her in, she was like 3 pounds, was all fucked up in every which way, and she had this weird, spunky, demanding personality, and I was like, you are a cat that you would find sitting on top of an ATM at a bodega, 100%. Her name was Bodega.
that's what's up.
And I gave her 5 extra years, and I just lost her a couple weeks ago, but she was a Jew.
I think
That was my soul pet right there.
When you have animals like that or anybody in your life like that, that energy stays with you, and it's definitely going to help you out later.
You always know a good human an animal's like no.
So, like, what does that say about me? I think I'm at 12.
Well, you're just Mother Nature.
And that doesn't
We've been over
include the
this.
ones that adopt me.
Oh, you got a farm?
So,
Oh, you said you got land.
homestead. Yeah, 12 chickens.
She had a
2
whole bunch of
turkeys,
cannabis
yeah.
reps running around her chicken coop the other day. I was filming it. Because fun fact, bitches love chicken.
So in the,
Bitches do love
in the
chickens.
mornings, I ain't gonna lie, because I guess that became a popular thing in the neighborhood. So you hear them in my neighborhood now. Go home.
You're hearing roosters. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to have roosters in cities.
Oh, what?
Cahoes
They got
do
them in
whatever-
Lansingburg. They got it right there.
Cahoes do whatever Cahoes want to do.
No,
Let's
they
go.
got
Those
them.
is a vibe, yo.
For real? They got them all over the place.
Yeah,
Like,
most cities do not allow roosters. They
I mean,
allow small flocks.
Do you
Wait.
remember that one guy that saw the TV show and wanted to forge his own swords and then burned down half the city block in Cahoes?
Yo, that was so funny. I
they got
remember
some
that.
winners. You know, I found out was
That was
that
insane.
Cahoes
It was
is
the
the
coolest thing ever.
third worst city in America
I believe.
because per capita, I guess they have some murders up well.
Yeah, this tracks.
And
Friends of
they
one
made
of
us
our
they made us
on
worse than
Facebook, so yeah, I
worse
could
than
attest to
Compton.
why.
Yeah, he was fucked up too.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Local
Don't wanna
politics.
have a dead
Yeah.
Local politics gets wild.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about? Well, no, we won't talk about politics. I'm not. But that mayor of New York
Oh,
It's gonna be interesting.
is talking about rent control.
I miss that guy that came around years ago from the Rent's Too Damn High party.
Oh God, he was amazing.
That
I
was
used that
one of the most
catchphrase.
wild,
for 10 years.
iconic video moments in politics I've ever seen.
When you're paying $5,000 for a fucking studio,
It's obscene.
that's ridiculous.
Right, New York City has been out of control for a long time now, and I mean, the absurd amount of like illegal apartments that exist that are well below code, not sanctioned, and they're still charging thousands and thousands. It's insane.
I think I was like, I left New York. I left New York finally in '98, and I was paying for a 3-bedroom in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah,
This is
Carrie
before-
Bradshaw's
before-
life used to actually
before
be somewhat reasonable.
Because this
Not
is
so much on the shoes end.
this is before the regentrification of Bushwick. You know, 'cause I lived in that. That's where I did a lot of.
It's so crazy to me
But-
when I go down there now because like I left the city right around 2000
Okay.
when I moved up here, and it's like like Brooklyn, the
different.
change of Brooklyn, it still blows my mind.
Yeah. No, I saw it in Harlem. I saw it coming down, and I had to leave Harlem to go to Brooklyn because they put it in. If you got caught with weed in the streets and you got charged, then they kick out whoever in the projects, whoever
Yep.
owned the lease in the project. So my grandma was living with my grandma.
Oh
And
jeez.
she was living there for 30 years. She was a pillar of the community. Talking about she was the baseball coach. She fucking, like for the church. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
the Catholic, she had the Catholic League or something like the CYO or something, like the youth.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
yep.
So
You
imagine,
can't risk
like
her
I can't,
grades.
I couldn't risk that, so I had to move out to Brooklyn, and pretty much Brooklyn was, woo, in the 90s.
Whole different ballgame.
I put it this way, I actually saw Biggie perform in Bushwick at a Dominican kind of bar type deal before he even blew up. Okay, and then I saw Lauren Hill. See everybody
That's an amazing thing about the city is, you can meet a lot of people before
they explode.
Because New York is such a central point.
Yep. And you think it's so big, but believe it or not, once you jump into the pond and you start maneuvering
No,
around,
I
shit gets smaller.
I had an exact moment last week that blew my mind that proved that New York City is huge but also small. So I was down there for a work thing, and I'm down there with my company, and we went bar hopping one night. We're in one late night bar, and I happened to just like the bartender. I thought he was great, so gave him weed, because that's what I do. And he appreciated it. We left. The next night, it's like 4:30 in the morning. We're in a completely different part of town at an after-hours bar. And who walks in but that bartender? And he just looks at me and he's like, "What's up, Fran?" He's like, "I fucking love those joints. I was
That's
giving a
what's
bunch
up.
of them out." And we were dying, and I was like, "The universe put you here, bro. Have some more."
Yeah. I got to
That's how you
say,
get free.
Millions and millions of people, and
And-
it's him.
bam,
That's
in
funny.
the location. You see, that's rare because I met my wife. She I used to work in Mount Sinai Hospital, and I met her on the street. Okay, and what was crazy was that she was dead pretty, and I just went like this, and she was walking with her mom because her sister just delivered her first child, right? So I didn't think she was going to separate from her family, but she actually did. We got numbers, right? Went on a date, come to find out she had some kids, and at that time I was like, nah, man, not down for that. And also too, is I took her out, and I've got this on record, baby. Listen, I took her out and the Knicks were playing, and she just watched the whole game and didn't give me no mind, yo. I was like, oh, this girl's going crazy, yo.
This is the most New York cute story I've ever heard.
So I threw out the number. I you know what I'm saying, never seen her again, right? I'm doing me. I went to Puerto Rico, right? And this is when we had the fucking snowstorm out here, like in the night. This is in the 90s. So they had the crazy snowstorm where my plane got delayed. I was in Puerto Rico, right? But I met one of my cousins. And he's he's actually a famous reggaeton rapper and rapper out in Puerto Rico. So he was like, his career was just starting, right? Boom, boom, boom. We had a good time out there together. I get back to New York, and for some reason, because he had a good time with me in New York, out in Puerto Rico, he booked him for a gig in the Bronx, and like he was like, yo, come on up, right? So I was like, this time we living in Brooklyn, the Bronx. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like, we going up there with guns, and I was on acid. This is like I said, back in the day. So I get up there, and lo and behold, she's there. My future wife is there. I kind of switched up the game. I went from Harlem's because at that time.
You were like, all right, I could buy some Pampers.
She actually got my number from my cousin that night, right? And at that time, I was living with a good friend of mine, my homegirl, right? Liza Lopez. Okay? No, she was pregnant already. Her man was in jail, you know what I'm saying? So I was holding it down.
This story gets more and more New York. I love it.
I was holding my homegirl down, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, so she, I was working at Mount Sinai at the time, still at the time, and my homegirl, she calls me up and she said, yo, we had answering machines back in the day. This is before the real cell phones.
Tell me she left you a message.
Yo, she left me a message, but the kids were in the background, right? So my homegirl was like, yo, some girl called up, and I think she's claiming that you have 2 kids. like joking around.
That's a good friend.
She was just like, oh, I think,
right, I like you know.
That's a good friend.
So I was like, oh, who's this girl? I was like, damn, some girl. Finding my number, I was like, damn, all right, let's come to find out it was her. And since that time, we were inseparable. Inseparable. You see her on my wall. I don't know if you could take a picture.
And I've already got pictures of you all too. I got tons of them actually.
She on some real New Yorker. She was a real New Yorker. I'm talking about in the neighborhood, the Avenue D, the Lower East Side. Her name rang bells in the 80s. She got going to school in the 6th grade. But when I met her, she was working on Wall Street, okay, doing trades with the stock market. She took a Series 7's test and passed that shit the first time.
That shit's hard.
Okay, she passed it the first time. You know what I'm saying, and was working up. When I heard her story or got to know her, I was like, oh my God, yo. She's gangster, man. She's
a baddie.
She was way more gangster than I could ever be. Because I grew up upstate, you know what I'm saying? Even though I claim the city, all my family, everybody from the city. But I wasn't living 24/7, 365 days at those critical, at 13. If I grew up in the city at 13, I don't think I'd be here. I don't know if I'd be here. Keep it real.
I mean, it's possible that you might not.
I tell you the truth, the decisions that I made remember I said I started smoking at 21, so I was making good decisions as a young person.
Early teens is a prime
You know what I'm saying?
Especially where the
really get caught
opportunity
up.
is abundant.
That's why it took me until my mid-30s to straighten the fuck out.
I keep it real, it's still taking me. I'm not gonna lie. since my wife passed away, I definitely promised her. I said, yo, I wasn't going back to the streets. I kept true to that. And like I said,
You selling
definitely
with receipts.
with receipts at that.
And
So
a
that's when I
fancy
said.
patio.
That's when I said when God has a plan. This
Oh, let me let him in.
He's
Archie.
ready to come back.
Hi, baby.
You ready to be famous again? I agree with you so much. The universe has a way of putting us on the path. And like I've always said that, like, pay attention to the people who cross your path multiple times.
Yep.
Because the universe is always giving you signs. And if someone keeps getting put in your path, like, they are supposed to be a part of your story.
Yep. You gotta slow down the matrix. That means slow down the lifestyle.
Yeah, don't let
Sometimes
the universe shout at you over and over and over again. Just pay attention.
you ain't gotta be at the party every weekend.
I
Keep it
firmly
real.
believe that, like, if you feel like you are fighting all the time and you are screaming and screaming, you're struggling, it's probably time to let go a little and find the path that's meant for you. Because what's right for you, the universe is going to help you along that way.
Put it this way, I made plenty of mistakes,
You can work hard, but you shouldn't feel like you're fighting against something.
no doubt. One thing I've learned is from right away. You know what I'm saying? I said being arrested. My first time I got arrested was I was 32 years old. I was 32. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I never sold ounces.
So wait, so you're saying I was smoking weed, selling weed, and getting arrested way before you were in life?
Yeah,
I love this.
way before. No, like with the nickel bag and stuff like that. That wasn't, to me, that wasn't getting arrested. I was getting harassed. Okay?
Yeah, that is
And I'm talking about when they kicking down my door and everybody's in my face. I'm talking about the D's, the fucking the feds, everybody's there. And like,
I mean, let's be serious. They knew they were never going to stop weed, and they knew eventually weed would be where we are now. So they saw an opportunity to overpolice the shit out of it and squeeze every dollar out of it.
at the end of the day, to get to say like they find a bag of weed on me, now they have probable cause to go look for the cocaine.
Yep.
Guns.
And that's
It's
why-
real talk. I'm
and
not
that's
gonna
why,
lie.
you know what,
And
this is what
and a strategy, it kind of makes sense. But at the end of the day, they abused it to where now I have a record and it's sticking.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I had a problem. It's never really fucked with my able to get a job. However, it definitely was a
But there are so many
stick.
people whose lives were ruined by it in the same situation.
Yeah. Nah, I keep it real.
And they've always used weed as a scapegoat to try to go for something else on people. And that's why, we need to be so careful about their current legislation. Talk about potentially bringing back the ability to use the claim of smelling weed as means to search
Oh, that's
cars.
great.
Which is bullshit, especially when you look at the size of our industry now. Our cars
thought that was a mosquito.
smell like weed because that is literally our jobs.
I say I thought that was a like the light, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
lantern. Like, oh, shit. Come on, like a lightsaber. Yo, excuse my ignorance. I'm over 50, so it's like
Come here, baby.
stuff like that is that shit gonna put me away.
Oh,
So-
brain massage, yes.
Oh yes,
I brought out knives.
yes,
I heard you guys have those in
yes
store.
we do. We have it in stock. I tell you the truth, it's one of our sellers. One of my top sellers because I don't know if it's the main brand recognition or my bartenders really. I have some young bartenders that love it.
It's because it's nice. It's nice.
It's fucking
I
nice.
remember.
So you want to talk, I definitely want to put good product and this is definitely good.
I mean, I loved that when you gave me a dab of that one the other day.
I love that that's the intro because I haven't told you yet. You're one of my fans now.
Okay.
I'm your activator.
We activated, baby.
So I need to get on your calendar, but I wanted to
No, it's
share
on
a
our
little-
shelf.
No, I meant me on the calendar.
yeah, let's go, let's go.
So I brought White Widow today from Nice. These are full spectrum rosins. Gosh, they're beautiful. Check her out. So like, this
It's like peanut
is,
butter.
yeah, she's beautiful. and she's a classic sativa. A lot of what I've seen on the market labeled White Widow is
that.
indica.
It's beautiful.
So like,
She got that, and I was one of the first ones to try it with her.
yes, she was. So she's my favorite girl.
Bree and I have a special thing where whenever we have something that's extra tasty or impressive, like, we run to each other to try it.
Okay. At the end of the day, cannabis brings people together. Okay? Especially when you have somebody that you can smoke with in politics and talk with.
I love smoking with her because I learned so much from her. And it's crazy because, like, you know, when I said I grew up with parents that were growers, I was growing, I was feeling, like, name it, and I did it. And I still learn things from her all the time because she understands on such a deep science level. And
Well,
it's
I'm surprised you
incredible.
don't have Dre.
I've
Used
thought
to.
that about her too. I've
Used
actually
to.
thought that.
I did at one point. I didn't like.
The tightness on your
I
hand?
didn't like the process of putting them in. So like,
No, because
it
you
was
like
just
that.
I
I see you in Jamaica with some dreads.
Yeah,
with
like-
braids.
I love adding big chunky braids in my hair and things of that nature. Yeah, we're a vibe,
You
dude.
did the DNA. Or
I
that?
did.
Because I'm not gonna
See,
lie.
I didn't. I refused
Nah.
because you ain't putting my fucking DNA.
The police
in the
already
database.
got it. If they swabbed you, if they
They
swabbed you.
ain't swabbed me.
Oh,
So-
no,
Oh, I have
okay,
very
yeah.
good lawyers.
Hit that, and all you do is just twirl that
And
one.
honestly-
Was it a video game? Hold on. I'm gonna be like this.
Just treat it like a clip. It's fine.
Yeah.
What's
What's she say?
Hold on. All right. Let me test it.
She's like, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes reckless things come out of my mouth.
What you think?
I like the taste.
Right?
Don't that shit get back right here.
You want to clear that? She just finished.
Okay, take the light.
I got the limited editions and I needed to be fancy. So like when I use this at night, the whole thing lights up my entire room and I don't have to turn on anything. I'm like, it's a disco.
Are you good?
I break out that phone and I can control all of the settings, like our logo shows up on it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So if it wasn't super bright, I could just sit this out. Whenever I'm like, that shit says Tokes on. Like that old broad knows shit.
See, the thing about it is that
She don't need to
that's the
call a
new
younger
generation.
cousin to program her electronics.
Nah, I got Google and give them no attitude.
You're very useful.
How you doing?
Y'all are too close to the grocery store. I can just hop over.
Isn't it
That's a
wonderful?
beautiful thing.
It's either a blessing or a curse.
Nah, it's more of a blessing,
It
baby.
is a blessing. But I think this is a good place to cut it. What do you guys think?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Hopefully, you guys are forefront pioneers of the cannabis podcast in the Albany district. I see you guys everywhere. You guys are live. I follow you on Instagram. You know,
Reckless.
the events you guys go to, I'm actually kind of jealous because
We
I'm
are
like,
on
you
the
guys are like the in crowd. I'm like, damn, you guys fucking be on some shit, y'all. Like, damn.
Everywhere
I was
like,
never
like,
supposed
well,
to
how
be
you get
involved
those
in
invite
it.
lists? You are the invite list. You know what I'm saying?
So like the pool party you saw last week, that was 6 people guilt tripping me into going because they saw I was doing a training at Eastleaf in Buffalo. They're like, you're already here, stay
It's
another
alright.
night.
I was sad about the pool party because I wanted to do that one, but I had to be down in New York City doing the work and roll event for all the
So,
budtenders
but
in New York.
one thing is that you guys are the movers and shakers of this industry because you are vibing from Buffalo to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's enough respect. Thank you for coming. This is Mr. Green.
And
And we out.
Bye, guys.
All right.